Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Accountable Podcast, where we are making accountability fun so you can achieve your goals and feel so proud of yourself along the way. Today, we are talking about a topic that's actually had me featured in Fast Company magazine twice, and that topic is procrastiworking. And yes, I did make that term up. However, I have seen it used a few other times as well, but it's a really fun term to describe how we do work and justify it as work, but it's not actually going to move the needle forward. And the reason that this came about is because there are some common traps that come up and really help us or really hinder us from when we're trying to reach a goal. And so we're going to talk about those three common traps and what to do to navigate them. So after you listen to this episode, you're going to know exactly what to watch out for, what actions to take, and then you will finally achieve that goal that you're after. So most of us who are really high achieving people aren't like, I'm just going to sit on the couch and do nothing. You're actually going to busy yourself throughout the day and feel like you're doing work, but you get to the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the year, and feel like I didn't do anything that helped me get to my goal, but I was busy the whole dang time. This is what we have to talk about. That is procrastinating. And so there's some common themes that come up. The three most common traps that I see after working with hundreds of clients and seeing this come up, and I have to put myself on blast here because I have done all of these multiple times. This is not a thing that only someone else does. I do them. I don't want you to feel like anyone is immune to this. I don't think anyone is, because we can all fall into it. So the three most common traps I have seen is I need more time. That's a tough one because I know we're all busy, but that is a trap. When you feel that coming up, when you think that, when you say it out loud, catch it. It's a red flag. It doesn't mean you have all the time in the world. I'm not suggesting that you do, but chances are there's a little bit more in there when we say, I need more time. Number two, I need more research. Now, admittedly, sometimes we do, but it's pretty rare. We usually only say this later on down the road when we're actually just struggling to take the action. Common trap number three, I need another plan. I need another strategy. AKA, I'm going to watch that next webinar that I just saw or listen to that podcast episode so I can get another plan. These will get us stuck. They will get us stuck so many times. And I am going to put both hands up and say, I have done this so many times that it is like I can't even count how many times I've done this. I just want you to know you're not alone in this. This is really hard to navigate, especially when you're trying to achieve a goal, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're sitting alone in your office and no one is like really paying attention to what you're doing. And so you're like, I just need to do these things sometime. And so it just creeps and starts pushing back and back and back because no one is technically waiting on it. So these are very common traps, especially for entrepreneurs. And I am thankful for my clients that have said yes, that I can share some of these stories. But I do want to make sure that I share every single one of these I have done multiple times and can give you more than one example of all of them. But instead of only talking about myself, I will share a few client stories. So I need more time. My client, Adrienne, who you're actually going to hear from, I have an episode that she's going to share more of her story, but I wanted to bring her up here because she is someone that has wanted to write a book for a very long time. We're talking 10 years plus. And she thought she could find the time. And she said to me, Amanda, I didn't need more time. I needed more focus. And when she said that, I knew I wanted to hear more about her story on the podcast. So I was like, can we record an episode on this? So that's coming up. So stay tuned. That is coming your way for sure. So you can hear more about her and how she got to the other end of this. But what she thought was she would find the time. And when she said this, I realized, oh my gosh, there's so many of us who think that. Oh, find the time. You'll never find the time, my friend. That is not happening. You need to dedicate the time. You need to label the time and you need to honor the time. That's what you have to do. Finding it is crap. It's never going to happen. You've done this too many times. I've done this too many times. I'm going to find the time to do whatever. It never happens. You have to label the time and then do it. So learn from Adrienne, learn from me. Don't try to find the time. You have to label it. The next one, I need more research. My dear client, Amy, I've worked with her for so long, and she she was really struggling with making a decision about something. And she kept saying, I need more. I just need to do a little bit more research. And I knew she did not need to do that. She just needed to make a decision. She was just nervous about making the decision. And I knew this because I had been working with her and I was able to catch it, but she would have never caught that on her own. She would have thought, I need to keep doing research. I need to have more data to make the decision, or I need to feel it in my gut. She's more of a data person, but some people come to me and they say, well, I just want to feel it. And maybe that's a great thing for certain circumstances, but when you're procrastinating, that's not a good one. Feeling your gut feeling and being like, oh, I'll just know if it's right. No, your gut's telling you don't do this because it's not really your gut, it's your brain. Our brain is wired to do what we're comfortable with, what we know what to expect, and what keeps us safe and secure and cozy. And challenge is not cozy. So your brain is telling your gut, no, 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 don't do this. You need more research. You need more time. Our brain is doing this. We have to remind our brain, no, I'm okay. I do not have a saber-toothed tiger running up against me right now. I do not need to panic. I just need to make a decision, knowing that it can be reversed, knowing that that decision can be changed at a later time. There's very few decisions in our life that are irreversible. I'm not saying they're all easy to reverse, but there's very few that are not reversible. The third is I need another strategy or plan. This, I was like, who could I share? It's every client. I don't have a single client that was like, that didn't say, I need another plan. Here's the deal. Chances are you have a beautifully created plan that is sitting in the drawer of dread or in the drawer of doom, where it's going to die if you don't pull it out and say, this is the plan, I'm moving forward with it. Again, it's just like making the decision. You just need to take some steps and use the plan you have and adjust along the way. It does not mean that that plan is written in stone and you can't change it. It just means you need to take action. So if you find yourself saying, I need another plan, I would challenge you to say, what's wrong with the one you have? Chances are you can just adjust something and keep going with the plan. You don't necessarily need a new plan. You just need to take action with the one that you have and adjust along the way. You can absolutely adjust the plan along the way. So please hear me when I say that 45 more times. You do not have to stick with the original plan. You can adjust. But too many people, including myself, have said, this plan is bad. I need a new plan, and it wastes time. That just wastes a lot of time. You need to move forward with your current plan and adjust along the way. But we are remarkable at justifying things. And so it's actually really hard to catch this sometimes. Like I said about one of my clients, it's hard to catch it for yourself. So other people can often catch this for you quicker than you can, because it is so amazing that we can justify things like, but this is for my business, but this is going to help me to get my goal or to get to the goal. So I have to do this. You have to challenge yourself, my friend. This is a hard one. So I'm going to give you a few things like to really look out for. Those are the 3 common traps. I need more time. I need more research. I need another plan. Those are some big ones. Those are the ones that I hope you can catch. Sometimes they're really hard to catch for yourself, but I hope you can catch them. But procrastworking is doing something that could be considered work. So it really feels like you've justified the action, but it's not the thing that will move the needle towards your goal. Here are a handful of other things, of red flags that I would like to share with you that I want you to look out for. And you're probably going to be like, oh, she's talking about me. I'm not in your car with you or on a walk with you. I'm not reading your mind. I just have seen this so many times and I've done them too. So you are in great company. Creating graphics in Canva. I know you're probably feeling called out because you're like, but I have to create those graphics in Canva, Amanda. And maybe you do. But I would very much challenge how long you're hanging out in Canva. Because chances are it's too long. It's too long and you've wasted time. And you have precious time. I know you don't have all the time in the world. So just give yourself the grace of like, okay, I've recognized it. Now I can move on. Checking and replying to emails. I know that can feel like work. This is my number one. If I let myself fall into one procrastinating habit, it is checking and replying to email. But it's not where I need to hang out. That doesn't help me achieve my goals. Another one, engaging. If you're listening on the podcast, I just did an air quote on engaging. Engaging on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever. AKA, this is scrolling. You are scrolling and we need to call it out. You are not doing actions that are taking you to your goal. Now, Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever social content that you're creating, if it's a part of your marketing strategy, sure, you do have to engage. But I would say, do you have a time block on your calendar? And are you actually engaging or are you scrolling? Chances are you're scrolling. We need to be honest about what we're doing, but you can then create a system that helps you do this in a more effective way. But that is typically procrastinating. Here's another one. Editing the video or the podcast or the whatever one more time. I just need to do it one more time, Amanda. I hear this all the time. I do it all the time. We have to catch ourselves. Done is better than perfect. That is procrastinating at its best, is the one more time. And so I need you to catch it. So these are the things, and I'm sharing very specific examples because I want you to catch it. I don't want you to get caught in this trap. It's so easy to get caught in the trap, and we have to really think about getting ourselves out of that. Now, I also want you to give yourself some grace. We all do this. Every single one of us does this. You are not alone. And there's a lot of research that really shows that procrastination is when things get really, really hard for us. There is a difference. I thought this was very fascinating. There is chronic procrastination and there's situational procrastination. And most of us fall into situational. And that is delaying the task because it's hard, challenging, or new. This is so much of what we're doing. Something is hard, we go to something easy. Our brain is trained to do that. We like easy. We like routine. Those neural pathways are in it. They are ingrained. We love doing things that we can expect the outcome. That is how our brain is wired. So when something is hard, we tend to procrastinate. That's what happens because it's natural. That is situational. Now, chronic procrastination is a perpetual problem. And this is when you really struggle with finishing tasks, period, all the time. Doesn't matter what the task is. You just chronically are not finishing different tasks, all tasks. And most people that perpetually put off tasks that typically feel like they procrastinate, they are the ones that feel like I'll be more productive if I push myself to the end. I'll be more productive that way. Unfortunately, this adds stress. So there is an article in Psychological Science says that studies have found that procrastinators carry accompanying feelings of shame, guilt, or anxiety with their decision to delay. It increases your stress dramatically. And so for those people who feel like I'll be more productive, I argue that maybe you do feel more productive at the end because you did it in a shorter amount of time. But you probably increased your amount of stress in the process. And from my perspective as the coach who works with people that do this all the time, you are also, I'm going to say dinging, like your confidence is taking a ding every time. So people that will typically move a little bit faster and not procrastinate, they tend to move through that confidence barrier a little easier. Not all the time, but the people who procrastinate and push things off for a really long time really struggle with confidence. And that's what I see. And it breaks my heart because all I need them to do is take the dang action. Because I know what's on the other side is more confidence, but they're really struggling to take the action. The longer you take to take the action, the more your confidence is being hit and you don't feel like you can do it and you're worried about the perfection instead of just moving forward and adjusting along the way. So I want you to give yourself that grace because you're not alone. Again, all these research studies that I'm quoting and sharing, and I'm sure I'll do more in these podcast episodes, is it happens to all of us, and it's how our brain is wired, but we just have to look out for it. So when we think about navigating procrastination and how to make continual progress, There's two ways you can do this. There's one is you can navigate this on your own, and there's the other, which is getting support. So from the self side of things, and what I really found interesting in that same psychological science article, it actually says that it is there was a study done by Michael Wall, and he did this in 2010 with a group of students. And they had like a test, they had an exam, and one group of students procrastinated studying for that exam, and then they had another exam after that. And what they found is that the best personal remedy for procrastination was actually self-forgiveness. So that group of students who procrastinated, they felt that guilt, they felt bad, but if they forgave themselves for doing it, for making the procrastination happen, because it was a choice, they forgave themselves, they did better on the second exam. How wonderful is that? All you need to do is forgive yourself and move on. And I just love that because it's something you can do. I'm not saying it's always easy to forgive yourself, but I want you to give yourself that permission and know that there's data behind it that says, yes, I can forgive myself and move forward. You can actually do this. Now you can also get support. Get support. Talk to someone else. A therapist is a great person to talk about procrastination with. So if you don't have a therapist, go find one and talk about procrastination, because there's probably some underlying issues that me, a non-therapist, can't really talk about. I'm quoting these studies and I'm pulling in as much research as I can, but I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to tell you why you're procrastinating other than what I know, which is it's probably hard. We'd start there, right? But anything deeper, talk to a therapist about that. But in terms of setting and achieving your goals and in your life and in your business, I have an episode on the 3 levels of accountability and really understanding what level of accountability you need. Do you need to put some processes in place so your calendar reminds you to do some things, or you time block where to check your email? Do you need to have an accountability buddy where it's another biz bestie or another person that's achieving the same goal, and you say, hey, let's do this together so that we can actually help each other and not procrastinate as much, or not push things off when we know we need to put it forward and actually take the action? Or are you like, dang it, Amanda, it is time. It is time for me to finally do this. And I am ready to be held accountable at the highest level, which is paid accountability. And you find the program, you find the coach, you find the mastermind, you find the person to help you. That would also be a therapist that can help you navigate the thing. And so that is the thing that you want to think about, is what level of accountability do you need in order to no longer procrastinate or procrastiwork? Because on the other side of getting through the hard thing is you achieving your goal. And you can actually do this. And so if at all you're like, Amanda, I want help from you, you can always go to my website at amandamckinney.com/work with me to see the current options I have available. I'm happy to talk to you on a discovery call, which is 000 pressure. I always have all my pricing on my website as well. So there's no weirdness with that. You'll know exactly what you're getting. But I am happy to talk to you anytime to see if we are a good fit for one another, because this is what I love helping people do. I love helping people navigate the tough times. And so the accountable action that I want you to take today is to identify something that you have been putting off. Chances are it's top of mind, that you know the thing that's in it. You feel it in your stomach. You're like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. She knows I didn't send that email. She knows I didn't do the whatever. I don't know. I just know that this gets us all. We all put something off. And I want you to think about what you've been putting off and ask yourself why you actually want to achieve that goal that it's connected to. So if it's sending the email, if it's running, if it's whatever, it's like, what is the actual goal you're trying to achieve and why is that important to you? Remind yourself of your strong why. And then say, I am going to do X, whatever the action is that you've been putting off, either by the end of today or the end of the week, depending on whatever it is. Because if it's something you can do today, if it's something you can do in the next 10 minutes, my goodness, go do it. But if it's something that's going to take a few days, realistically, don't procrastinate or tell yourself you need more time. But if it realistically takes longer, get it done by the end of this week. What can you do to make it happen? because that's what I want you to do. I want you to push through the hard and actually get the thing done, because I promise you, you're going to feel like a champ afterwards. And remember that I believe in you in moments that you don't believe in yourself, especially in those hard times. I believe that whatever is put on your heart, you can actually do it. So keep going. You've got this. And until next time, keep being accountable.